Hi, my name is Andre Luong. Speech 1301, section course number 81204. And this is what I thought was interesting for an informative speech. So, according to the CDC, every year in the United States, there are around 48 million people who get sick from food-related illnesses. 128,000, almost 130,000 get hospitalized, and around 3,000 people unfortunately end up dying from very curable, if proper, what's the right word? Food food prepping gets done correctly. Um, so yeah, it's pretty obvious what I intend to cover today. Do any of y'all have any knowledge about any food related illnesses? Oh, here, listeria. Yeah, we had a little bluebell scare a few years back. We'll get to that. So yeah, today I intend to bring awareness about food, and I will shed light on three main food protocols for food handling. We got sanitation, cross-contamination, and cooking to the right temperature thoroughly. And that includes proper storage and refrigeration and to keep us out of the bacterial growth temperatures of 40 degrees Fahrenheit up into 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So anything in between that is a cesspool for bacteria that gets us sick to grow. The research I found is I got them from the Dallas College e-library and the CDC.gov. So some of the ones I found off the Dallas College are the food safety knowledge. It's going to be referred to as the FSK, and that was by Alameu, Androl, and others. We have Savelli and Acevedo, globalization and health, and in northwestern Ethiopia. We have DeMello, food safety and contaminations and toxins, and Robert C.A., the Food Safety Information Handbook, as well as I mentioned before, the CDC.gov. So some of the main viral and bacterial, what's it called, diseases that we can get are E. coli, salmonella, listeria, staph infection, and even hepatitis A. This comes right here from DeMello, page 28. So E. coli can cause serious cases of diarrhea, usually from undercooked beef, milks, and even fresh produce, because it's, like you gotta wash the fertilizer, because that fertilizer is technically fecal matter that comes in, contaminated water. Salmonella, which can cause diarrhea for days and is usually found in many different products, which actually caught me off surprise, was peanuts. And that comes from cdc.gov. Listeria comes mostly from unpasteurized dairy products and would give you more of a flu-like sickness, and this is what people tend to go to the hospital more. Even several deaths here we had from a bluebell scare, where they shut down the factories and we didn't have any ice cream, and yeah, Brenham, the city was closed down for a little while. That was pretty scary. And we had bluebell come back for a year, and then another listeria outbreak. But I feel like today we got it pretty under wraps. Thank God for unions, and yeah, so like one of my sources talking about countries like Ethiopia, they don't have a statewide governance for food safety and sanitary ness, and they actually have some of the highest cases of diarrheal deaths because of contaminated waters that they cook food with. And that source was the Savelli and Acevedo, Globalization and Health. And so yeah, so we talked about some of the types of sicknesses. Let's get into how to prevent these. So we have cross-contamination. This is the most common, with types of raw meats and unpasteurized milk and even produce. Excuse me. We even have to sanitize every surface and utensil that we use just for safety. Honestly, like staph A and hepatitis can be transferred from cook to consumer. I got that off page 28 of DeMello's food safety, contaminants and toxins. So yeah, cross contamination, like raw meat such as chicken, and even raw flour like that you cook with. Flour is what usually gets you sick when you're baking, not the eggs. What Mama told us. Um, but yeah, so like anytime you cut raw chicken, you want to make sure you use bleach and let that soak into the cutting board for a few minutes even before you put it in the dishwasher, because that hot water in the dishwasher could actually help spread the salmonella. Um, yeah, and thankfully we do have a power of government that can distinguish and establish what type of illness outbreak happens, and we can go several days back and work on various ways to get medical attention to those that may have come in contact with an outbreak. And this is covered in Globalization and Health by Savelli and Acevedo and others. And so thirdly, we have temperature. We properly cook our meats thoroughly and make sure we get to the center of our meats at said temperature. For example, chicken's at 165 and holds that temperature for at least 30 seconds. And I believe, and that's to cook like E. coli and salmonella all the way out. And something I didn't bring up, which is pork and raw pork can carry parasitic worms, especially like non-farmed pigs. And yeah, raw beef even has E. coli, so make sure you cook that burger to medium well, if not better. I personally love a medium rare burger, but that's with ground beef that I make myself and grind it up myself, because there's no guaranteeing on what comes from the grocery store is other products of the animal, which usually are just disgusting. Uh, yeah, so temperatures in refrigeration have to be between 40 degrees Fahrenheit as a cold temperature, or anything below that is safe, and anything above 140 degrees Fahrenheit is also safe, because anything in between though is the growth of a cesspool of bacteria that loves to thrive and party and spread its love to others. So yeah, today we went over 5 of the most common foodborne illnesses caused by bacterial and viral infections that can arise from food mishandling and food safety. And we covered in detail 3 ways to minimize foodborne illnesses related to food preparation, sanitation, cross-contamination, and food cooking temperatures. Now, to get into a habit of practicing food safety to minimize getting yourself sick, or God forbid, get someone you weren't trying to impress sent to the hospital and make them sick to their stomach. Y'all have a great day.